Welcome to this screencast. My name is Florian. I work as a solution architect for Swisscom, and today I want to talk about choosing the right technology within the client in order to satisfy enterprise requirements. Therefore, we will be using the Sencha Architect. Sencha Architect provides a drag and drop IDE. And basically what Sencha Architect does in the background is creating a nice HTML5 layer, so your applications just like write once, run anywhere, in terms of client providing HTML5 standard, of course. As I don't have a SAP backend system right here on my desk, we will using a simple REST backend service. I have created this hello REST service here. It's deployed to my local Tomcat, and so switching to the browser and calling our service, which is just like hello REST, returns a list of users. And what we want to do next, because this might be the output of SAP backend system, for example, we want to use this output and render this output to a client without having the need of creating an Android application, creating Objective-C application, creating BlackBerry application, etc., 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 etc. So we're just using the Sencha Architect. So that's our backend service, and now let's switch to the Sencha Architect, and we simply create here a new project, which is just like using latest Sencha version. We just give it a name, save it first time, should be hello REST. Okay, here we go. And what we do first, you see here this, what you're seeing here is this drag and drop ID I was just talking about. First of all, you can just like do anything here. We, for example, can add here form panel just like this, and then add several form components, radio button, select field, search field, and then finally button or whatever text area. So you see it's pretty fast creating the UI of this application here. But this UI actually does not match what we want to do. We just want to display a list of users, so we just drop our form panel here and start over again. So let's just delete this one. And what we need first is a container. We had a so-called navigation view. This navigation view enables us to add several more views later on if you maybe want to display user details or whatever. So into this navigation view, we just add a so-called list component. Let's search for the list component. Here we go. And the list component, there's a field called title. Here we go, which is a user list. And now the user list here will provide the title for our navigation controller. So here's list item 1, 2, and 3, and what we want to display here are our REST users, which is the output of our backend system. So let's just start by creating a model. The model should mirror exactly the JSON structure we were using here, and what we have here is we have user. User is an ID, email, first name, last name, and weight. So we just create a new model here by simply dragging and dropping a model. Here we go. And the model is called user and has several fields. There's a field called first. There is a field called last. There's a field called email. And there's a field called weight. Here we go. That's our model, and weight has special data type because weight will be integer. Okay, that's pretty much all we have to do in order to create our model. So next thing we're going to do is creating a store. Store is kind of a proxy to our backend service. So the store actually will call our REST service. We just say here we call it JSON store because our backend service returns JSON. The store itself, we just leave it just like my JSON store. There should be a property called model, and there we just hook in our user we just created before. And here within the Ajax proxy, we just drop the URL of our backend web service. It's called URL. Here we go. Okay, and there is one more property which is auto load, and by now we should be able to view the results of our web service. Here we go. That's exactly the JSON returned by our REST backend service. We were using first name, last name, and maybe the weight. Okay. So next thing we are going to do is we modify this list component here and tell the list component to use our store. So we just can choose a store, which is the my.json store, and we see the output changes immediately, which is exactly our 10 users generated in the backend. But actually the list component itself kind of is listening to different properties, so we just need to adapt the properties, which is the template. Sorry, it's here in the item template. Here we go. There's the item template. And in order to modify the item template, we just go here. Here we go. And what you see is this list item string, and there we just add our model properties, which is first, last. Okay. Here we go. So you see it's first name, last name, list is scrollable, clickable, etc., etc. So let's just watch this application within a mobile phone. We either can just open the application using our browser, because here's the application, there's Hello REST, and you see there's just an HTML page, and let's just open this HTML page. That's our user list, and we just put it like this. It should have the right size. And you might wonder why this list currently does not display any users. That's because of a browser restriction, because the browser actually calls this localhost or this file URL and tries to access localhost hello REST, just like having this URL there. So we just take the whole application here and drop it to our web application. Then this sandbox policy should be satisfied as well. So here is web app. We just throw it in here. Override. And there's this app.html. So what we can do next is we just say here hello REST. Hello REST. There we just call app.html. The application fires up, and just imagine the screen as a smartphone screen. Then the sizing fits, and the application displays the data in a pretty cool way. So let's just open up an iPhone, and we open up the Safari here. We just enter the URL. Oops. HTML. Okay, that's our user list. The next thing would be implementing within Sencha Architect another navigation view in order to render the details. But you see, it's really pretty easy to create this application using Sencha Architect. It's rendered to all devices. It's rendered in the browser. So there is no need for additional coding, and we pretty much like this style of creating enterprise applications in this fast and very efficient way. Thanks for watching this screencast.